Hey, what's going on, good people? Welcome to another episode of
Russ Can't Fly.
Yeah, let's get it. So I'm definitely excited that my wife decided that she was going to finally let me put her on the YouTube channel. And I have to definitely thank her for supporting everything that I've been doing in terms of this whole YouTube channel, spending the time learning how to edit, videos. I'm telling you, she had to listen to me use some pretty colorful language for the early parts of trying to figure out how to do all of this. So I really do thank her for supporting the channel and letting me do all of this flying and all of this kind of stuff. So thank you, baby. And she's fine too, ain't she? One of these days I'm hoping that she will actually sit down and have a conversation with me about what she thinks about all of this. If you think that's something that would be interesting, let me know. Then that way I can tell her, hey man, there was a bunch of stuff down in the comments. People wanted to see you and see what you thought about all this kind of stuff. She hates being on camera, but I'm gonna force her anyway, because I'm the type of dude that she married, she can't help it. Want to get to my subscriber shout out. This is a little bit serious because we're in serious times right now. Not trying to be a downer, but I don't want to pretend like things aren't happening. I want to give a very special subscriber shout out to Steve DeCastro. Steve, thank you for supporting the channel. Steve, here's the thing. I need you to fight. I know that you are currently engaged in a battle with this COVID-19. I've seen you do lives, and the only reason why I'm putting this out there is because you've been on your YouTube channel showing us what you're going through as you fight this virus. I need you to fight, Steve, because at some point you will be in the cockpit with me. We have got to go fly. So in order for that to happen, I need you to fight this thing, man. I tell you, my heart has gone out to you. I definitely have put you in my prayers and on my prayer list. People out there, if you pray, I ask that you put Steve DeCastro on your prayer list because he is definitely in the midst of that battle. So Steve, thank you for supporting the channel. Get well. Fight this virus so that we can at some point definitely get in the cockpit and you can show me some other video tricks and we can definitely do a flight video together. All right, thank you, Steve. Okay, so I'm calling this week 2 of being grounded, and yes, nothing is happening. I've heard some very interesting stories on the impact COVID-19 is having on the aviation industry. Now, many of you know that it's having a huge impact on the commercial industry because a lot of those commercial flights aren't happening. I'm sure you're hearing about all of the empty airplanes, the amount of flying reductions, that kind of stuff. But one of the things you don't realize is that it's having a huge impact on general aviation. Us folks who are either in flight training, folks who even own their own airplanes, maybe they fly small regional airlines. I mean, the impact is huge. And let me tell you a couple stories about how it's affecting general aviation specifically. So the first story I heard was like really crazy. There's this expo that they do every year called Sun and Fun. Now, Sun and Fun, I mean, hundreds of airplanes show up, a lot of vendors. It is definitely on my to-do list. One of the things that I definitely miss about not training is the fact that it is extending the time that I'm not going to be able to fly to these meetups and meet and greets and expos like Sun and Fun. Sun and Fun was just canceled this year. And I gotta tell you, that is huge. That news, along with all the other things that, things that just won't be happening, all the cancellations, is just crazy. When you look at the big airline industry, they're gonna get stimulus money, and that's fine. They should. We want a nice, healthy, robust airline industry because at some point we're gonna wanna travel again. But I gotta tell you, you know, I don't know if there's gonna be the same type of stimulus for a lot of the folks who are in the general aviation industry. You know, the small vendors, the small product providers, and some of those small, you know, service industry things. Like, you know, you go to Sun and Fun, you're in the area, there's a diner, there's a person who works at the diner. Sun and Fun could be a time where that person was looking for making some extra money to do some things for who knows what. That's not going to be happening. So those are all the people that you don't think about when you talk about stimulus, because those people aren't on the news. And, you know, I have to admit, I didn't know anything about general aviation for years, so I wouldn't have thought about what impact any of this stuff would have had, especially things like 9/11 or any of those other tragedies. So now that I'm in general aviation, I'm seeing how deep and far this pain is really going, and it is just crazy. Other story that I definitely wanted to talk about was this. I mean, this was just the craziest thing that I had heard. So there's this guy who is like one of like my flying heroes. This guy called Nicos Wings, Nikos. If you ever get a chance, you should stop by his channel because he does some amazing stuff. His videography, his production in his videos are amazing. I mean, mine is Bush League because, you know, I like it a little rough. I like it a little, you know, less polished or whatever. But his stuff in Nicos Wings is amazing. Some of the flights that he does. But he had on his channel recently that he's grounded. Now, I couldn't figure out, like, how is this guy grounded? He owns his own airplane. He has his own businesses. He doesn't need anybody to fly with him the way I do. But here's the kicker. So apparently, and I can't remember exactly what certification is lapsing, but one of his certifications is lapsing, and he just needs somebody to do almost kind of like a check ride with him, or something that they can just check the box, you know, make sure he's got all of his skills, they're firmly in his grasp, and all of that kind of stuff. Well, the problem is, in order to do that, just like me, he needs somebody to sit in the right seat to do that check off for him, and they can't. And so since that certification has lapsed, the person that he would need to sit in the right seat with him to do the certification isn't available. He can't fly. I mean, that is just such a shame. I mean, this guy's got a super nice Cirrus airplane. I am so jealous every time I see it. It's sleek, it's nice, and guess what? Right now, that airplane, as nice as it is sitting in his hangar somewhere. And so that's just, you know, tragic. Now, the other thing is, he talked about, well, even if he could fly, where would he go? Everything is closed. He talked about punching holes in the sky. And I just thought, man, that kind of sucks, because yeah, even if he could fly, where would he go? A lot of the airports that we fly into, a lot of the restaurants and those types of things are closed. And of course, he'd probably be able to get fuel and things like that, but you wouldn't be able to do anything. You'd rent a car to go to a place only to have it, you know, only to be in a situation where you're not able to do anything. So it's tough out there. So the impact is deep and wide. And, you know, I'm not saying that to say get any additional sympathy, because really, in the scheme of things, I am so blessed. I really am. Me and my family, we're at home, we're safe. Me and my wife are able to work at home, which is incredible. And so we're really not having to worry about how we're going to maintain ourselves throughout this thing. But see, it's not enough to just know that you're comfortable. I do think about all of those folks who are in these different service industries who are really not getting paid right now. And that really scares me. And so my heart goes out to all of you. If you find yourself in this position and you're watching this video, just know that I am praying for you. One day, I hope that if I ever fly into a general aviation airport and you just so happen to see me or say, hey, Russ, I saw your videos, I followed your channel, and I remember this video that you talked about. If I flew in and I saw you, hamburger, a beer, glass of water, whatever it is on you, it is. It's on me. Seriously. All right? And so I'm about to wrap this up because I don't want to bore people to death with me just talking, but I definitely wanted to remind everybody, listen, please be safe. This thing is really serious. As you heard on the front end, one of my subscribers, Steve DeCastro, I actually went to college with the guy as well, phenomenal individual, has helped me with some of my videoing, has given me suggestions about how to make the channel better. He is currently suffering with COVID-19, and it is scary to watch. And so watching that and seeing some other news, with people suffering from this, or even, as the case may be, in some instances passing away from it, this is a serious time. So please be serious. Take this serious. I know our inclination is to be social and to go out and hang out with each other, but just, take a pause. So definitely, please take this serious. This is going to touch every corner of our society. Along with Steve DeCastro, I've had several colleagues test positive, and unfortunately, one of my colleagues in my office actually passed away. So be careful, be safe, follow all of the guidelines, all the precautions, stay at home, play board games, whatever it is you need to do to stay at home, to protect yourself, please do. And if you are essential, if you're out there working, just know that I'm praying for a hedge of protection all around you so that you can avoid getting sick, because you have to do what you have to do. If you have to work, you have to work. But just know that there are people praying for you so that you don't, prayerfully don't contract this virus. All right, so with that, Russ can fly. I'm signing off. Peace.